Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto finds his parents' scrolls. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by NOCTURNAL96 and link in the description and support writer. Let's start the video. It was early morning when our resident goofball Naruto Uzumaki finally woke up. He yawned and tried to stretch out only to yelp in pain as the events of last night came back to him. Oh, Kami, damn it. Why can't they just leave me alone? He started to tear up but quickly wiped away any evidence of would-be tears as he realized he was still in the ditch. He soon got up and started to head home as quickly as possible while going over the events that had transpired. He had been walking back home from the Hokage tower after telling Sarutobi, the Sandaime Hokage, what had actually transpired during the Forbidden Scroll incident. Then as he turned a corner a group of drunks saw him and started cursing him and telling him he should just die. Before the incident Naruto had never known why the villagers hated him, but after Mizuki informed him of his tenant, he finally understood why they hated him. They soon started to follow him, constantly berating him until finally one of them threw their sake bottle at his head, knocking him over. As soon as he was on the ground they pounced, kicking and punching until he finally passed out from the pain. They must have dragged me to the ditch sometime after I passed out, Naruto gloomily thought while walking up the stairs to his apartment. Getting his key from under the mat he soon unlocked his apartment and started to get ready for the day. After changing clothes and washing off all the dirt and dried blood, he poured himself some cereal and was about to eat it when a knock came from his door. "I'm coming," as Naruto started towards the door and as he opened the door he asked, "How can I help you?" Before him stood an Anbu who quickly told him that the Hokage had requested his presence immediately. Right as he finished he left without any goodbye. Bastard, couldn't even say good morning or make sure I heard him. Naruto scowled after the Anbu left. He was never a big fan of the Anbu since they would always disturb him while he pranked the villagers and when a few had helped a mob find him on his birthday. Getting tricked by the people who were supposed to protect you didn't inspire trust from the young blonde. He quickly finished his breakfast and headed over to the Hokage tower, hoping that his Jiji would have something cool to give him or if he was getting a super secret mission. He soon entered the building and walked by the glaring secretary flipping her off and chuckling to himself. But when he got up the stairs he was surprised to see Sarutobi outside his office. This immediately raised warning signs in his head as he never had a meeting outside his office unless he came for a visit to check on him. He quickly bashed all thoughts of distrust out of his mind since Jiji was the first person to truly care for him. "I'm truly sorry for what is about to happen, Naruto. Just know that I will always care about you and to just try and keep an open mind," Sarutobi said in an almost pleading voice with eyes that screamed regret and sorrow. "What's the matter, Jiji? Did something happen? What are you talking about?" And now worried Naruto stated in a soft voice. He clearly knew something was wrong if the Hokage was apologizing before anything happened. "You will know shortly," Naruto just sighed. "I'm sorry for what is about to happen," sighed the Sandaime who soon opened the door ushering Naruto into the office. When Naruto walked through the door he was met with a sight he had only dreamed about. Before him was the Yondaime Hokage, Minato Namikaze. Along with him were a red-haired woman and two girls with red hair also. One looked to be around Naruto's age, while the other looked 3 or 4. "Hello Naruto, it's so good to finally see you. You seem to have a lot of my features too. I told you he would, Kushina-chan." The Yondaime smiled toward the woman now identified as Kushina. "HMPH. Well, I guess you were right, Minato-kun," added Kushina as she looked at her son with a loving look. "WW, what are you people talking about and how are you even alive and how do you know me?" yelled a confused Naruto as he pointed towards the Yondaime. "Oh, that's easy, Sachi, we are your parents," Kushina said with a loving smile as she put her hand on Minato's shoulder. "Oh, I almost forgot, these are your two sisters, Naruko and Narumi. Naruko is your younger twin, while Narumi just turned 3 a few days ago." Minato chuckled at his little jab at his two girls. Naruko, who was carrying Narumi, walked up to Naruto and bowed. "Hello Nai-san, it is so good to finally meet you," smiled a cheerful Naruko. "Nai-san," yelled a happy Narumi as she stuck her hands at Naruto, hoping he would pick her up. Naruto just stood there with a shocked expression on his face. He honestly didn't know how to take this. His hero was alive and well, which was great, but he was also apparently his father who apparently had left him to the village's mercy. This fact alone put him in shock and he hasn't even processed that he had a twin and a baby sister as well as meeting his mother. "So Naruto, how was life with Tsunade and Jiraiya? Did they teach you well?" Minato said, seemingly oblivious to his son's expression. While all of this was going on, Sarutobi was standing there with a sorrowful look in his eyes. He looked up as he noticed Naruto looking at him. "Is it true, Jiji? Is this my real family?" Naruto spoke in such a monotone voice. Minato and Kushina quickly glanced at him with a hint of amusement that he would question who they were. Of course we are. That is enough, Minato, yelled a frustrated Sarutobi. Sighs Naruto-kun, this is your family and I'm so sorry for not telling you. I own nothing. If I don't have to do this every chapter, please let me know. Enjoy. Why? Mumbled Naruto. Sorry, what was that, Sachi? Kushina asked as she tried to listen to her son. Why would you leave me here with nothing while you took her and had a wonderful life while I suffered? Cried Naruto as it all finally sunk in. And you, he pointed at Sarutobi. Why did you lie to me about my parents? Why didn't you tell me they were alive? He accused Sarutobi, who only looked down in shame. He couldn't tell you, sweetie, as it was an S-rank secret. And what do you mean? We left you with Jiraiya and sent you gifts on your birthday as well as letters throughout the year, didn't you get any of them? Plus we even have some letters from you that Jiraiya sent us along with your training updates. Kushina said with a very worried expression on her face. Who the hell is Jiraiya and what letters? I never wrote any letters, nor did I receive any. An incredibly upset Naruto yelled at his mother. Jiraiya is your godfather, Naruto. He was supposed to take care of you as well as train you while we were away. Minato said with a hint of malice as he said Jiraiya's name. Which he apparently didn't do and even lied to us about it. But Minato, he promised to look after our Sachi. Why would he break that promise? Yelled a very upset Kushina. I know he promised, but he obviously broke that promise. We will find him and have him explain why he thought it would be a good idea to abandon our son. Minato declared with unobstructed hatred towards the fact that Jiraiya had left their son. By this point Kushina had gotten past the shock of learning how they abandoned their only son to a life of misery and focused on the fact that Jiraiya had left her baby boy. When I find that miserable old pervert, I will skin him alive with a dull kunai, then rip out his tongue and strangle him for abandoning our Naruto, the enraged Kushina ranted as she clenched her fists. Then seemingly out of nowhere she started to cry. I'm so sore, Sachi. Where are you? Kushina asked as she looked around for her son. At this everyone realized that Naruto had left sometime during their rant, which worried everyone. Especially Sarutobi, who knew Naruto was only silent when he was either in danger, hurting or pulling a prank. Since Naruto currently wasn't in any danger and the fact that he had cried during the meeting, Sarutobi knew that Naruto was hurting real bad. Anbu? Please go find Naruto and Brai. No, Minato, let him go. He has suffered enough today. Hiruzen, Sarutobi spoke as he took out his pipe and lit it. He needs to be alone for a little while to let it all sink in. And with that he left the disgruntled family to think about what they had done. Time skipped 2 days. Here you go, Naruto-kun. Smiled AM as she handed the raiment to the boy. Huh? Oh, thanks, AM-chan. Naruto mumbled, just staring off into space. AM quickly got worried as Naruto had never been this depressed. Sure, he sometimes got a pained look in his eyes whenever he thought people weren't looking, but he would never just be well dead to the world. Of course he has a valid reason to be like this, she thought. Word had quickly spread about the fourth's return, and by the next day everyone was celebrating their long-lost hero. But when a few of the villagers cheered about how the demon boy would finally be killed, Minato was furious. They hadn't called him a genius for nothing. He had quickly put 2 and 2 together and figured out that they were talking about his son. He immediately told the villagers of his relation to Naruto and that he was absolutely furious with them. Kushina had put many of them into the hospital later that day also. While AM was remembering this, Naruto was once again going over the meeting with his parents. He just couldn't understand why they would think he would welcome them back with open arms. He was also confused on who the Jiraiya guy was. From the conversation he figured out that he was supposed to take care of him. Of course he thought about asking Sarutobi, but he just couldn't bring himself to trust the man again. He also thought about asking Iruka, but when he went to ask he saw him talking to Minato and Kushina. He quickly left the scene, not wanting to confront them. He had thought about going to the library, but he had tried that during the academy and they wouldn't let him enter. They would always give him glares and say animals had no place in the library. Wait a minute. Huh? What was that, Naruto? AM inquired. Sorry AM, I have to go, thanks for the ramen with new purpose. Naruto ran out of Ichiraku's and towards the one place that could give him the answers he so desperately needed, the library. Standing outside the library, Naruto was having second thoughts. Sure, he had seen Naruto enter and leave with books, but was unsure whether or not he would be able to do the same. Sure, it was announced that he was the 4th son and that the villagers were remorseful of their actions, but he wouldn't put it past them to harass him still. Come on, Naruto just entered the damn building. What are you, chicken? Naruto tried talking to himself in order to gain confidence. Sadly, it didn't really work as he started to turn away only to halt as he heard Kushina ask if someone had seen her son. Although by the tone of her voice he guessed it was more like threatening them for information. He quickly turned back towards the library and entered. When he started to look around the lobby area, he noticed the librarian raise her eyebrow and give a glare, but nothing more. He cautiously started toward village records, hoping to find something on this Jiraiya. After a few minutes of searching he found what he was looking for. It was just a small bit of info from the Third Great Shinobi War, but it was enough to know that the man had great skill. Apparently Jiraiya was one of the legendary Sannin along with Orochimaru and Tsunade. As he was reading about their exploits he heard the librarian mention a location near his area. As he peered around a corner he caught sight of Kushina, who had apparently moved into the library. He quickly hinged into a brunette that looked a little younger than him and kept reading, hoping that the read would just keep walking and leave. Sadly his wish was denied as she asked. "Hello there, you wouldn't have happened to see a boy around your age with spiky blonde hair and 3 whisker marks on each cheek, would you?" Kushina asked the girl in front of her. I'm sorry BB, but I haven't seen anyone like that." Naruto stuttered in a what he hoped was a decent female voice. Kushina regarded the person in front of her for a few seconds, which worried Naruto as he hoped she wouldn't see past the hinge. Thankfully she just huffed "Thank you and I'm sorry for disturbing you." As she walked away Naruto released a breath he didn't know he was holding and closed his eyes to say a quick thank you to Kami. But as he did this he missed the look Kushina shot over her shoulder. If he had noticed he would have seen how hurt she was. Kushina Pav. Kushina was easily able to identify the girl as a hinge, but she figured the person must have had a good reason for it, so let it be. During the conversation she quickly checked out the girl's chakra and found out it was Naruto. But once her son had given her an answer, she had to decide whether to call him out or let him be. She so desperately wanted to squeeze him into a hug right then and there, but the fear in his eyes were unmistakable. She realized that he didn't want to talk to her, otherwise he wouldn't try to hide. So she made her exit, only casting the one glance over to the now relieved girl. That one look was all it took for Kushina to start running home before she broke down and cried right in the street. She was able to make it to the couch before she finally collapsed in tears. Shortly after Naruto came down to see what was going on. "Ah-san, what happened, why are you crying? Did you ever find Nai-san?" asked a worried Naruto. "Yes I did Naruto-chan." Sniffled, but he didn't want to talk and tried to hide in a hinge. Sob, he seemed so scared that I would call his bluff. "I don't know what to do Naruto-chan. If only I didn't listen to your father and brought Naruto with us." Kushina burst into tears again, unable to continue the conversation. Naruto simply went over to her Ka-san and hugged her. Unbeckoning to both women Narumi left the house. Scene change. Back in the library Naruto is now looking up the Sannin to see if he can get any info on what their signature Justu was. All he was able to find was that it was called the Summoning Justu. When he read it, it seemed familiar, but he just couldn't place it. He was currently sitting at a table with about 15 books and looking very frustrated. "Damn it, why can't I find it?" yelled the disgruntled teen, who was quickly shushed by the librarian, who seemed ready to kick him out. "I'm never going to finish all these by the time teams are picked. Wait a minute, didn't the Forbidden Scroll say something about memory transfer from the clones or something?" And with that thought in mind he created 20 clones and told 15 of them to read the other books and the other 5 to find Justu and important books on ninja tactics. Soon all the clones were sitting down reading books, much to the surprise of some ninja in the library. Many didn't know anyone could make so many, and others who knew Naruto better than others were just surprised to see him reading a book. Little did they know that Naruto only started reading the books so that he could beat Naruko, who he saw practicing in a training field the other day. He saw how great she was and immediately wanted to prove that he was just as if not more powerful than her. He knew he was lacking in Justu and tactics as he was never taught properly, but he was determined to improve as quickly as possible. Naruto, who had been remembering that day, quickly looked up when he heard a poof. Suddenly he got a small headache as he recalled what was in the book his clone was reading. His eyes suddenly became wide with surprise, and then he smirked as he realized why the summoning Justu seemed familiar. It had been in the Forbidden Scroll. He had only briefly looked at it when he looked through, thinking he could come back to it later. He stood up and told the rest of his clones to finish the books and return them before they also disappeared. He quickly went to the nearest training ground and started doing the seals required to perform the technique. When he was done he slammed his hands down yelling summoning Justu. Poof. Naruto looked up and gazing back at him was a fox. To be more specific, a fox with 2 tails. The fox was black with a silver tint and white tips on the tails. Hello? Anyone in there?" A feminine voice rang out through the clearing. This confused Naruto as he looked around searching for it before he realized it came from right in front of him. Looking down he stared at the fox, who was up to his knee. "Yes, I can talk now before you freak out. Did you summon me?" Yeah, but how can you talk and why do you have 2 tails? Are you a girl? What's your name? How the heck can you talk?" he asked as he slowly started to freak out over a talking fox. "I can talk because I can, and my tails represent how much power I have as well as age. And of course I'm a girl, you moron," yelled the offended fox. "My name is Luna BTW. Now what is your name?" "I'm Naruto Uzumaki, the strongest ninja in Konoha. Believe it." proclaimed Naruto. Oh my god, I have been summoned by an idiot. Hey. Anyway, stupid phrase aside, I assume you want to sign the Fox contract. Yes? Luna asked. I have to sign a contract? Like I give you my soul and you give me power and stuff? A confused Naruto asked the now sweat-dropping Fox. Of course dummy, that's how it works. Usually someone has to sign the scroll first, but if you are a new summoner then the summon is usually something related to you in some way. Explained Luna, who had assumed the stance of a teacher lecturing a student. So why did I get foxes? Is it because of the Kyuubi being sealed inside me? Ahahahaha, oh man, you're a funny boy. No, it wouldn't work like that. It would have to be something with your personal traits or something like that. I would guess since foxes are cunning and notorious tricksters and/or pranksters, you are one of those. Most of our other summoners have been, so what are you? Luna, who looked at Naruto with a curious look, started to wonder why he was able to summon her. Usually it would be the reverse, in which he should have been brought to Shinkyo, but instead he summoned her here. Naruto, who had adopted his thinking pose, asked Luna. Well, I do a lot of pranks throughout my village and I was very good in staying hidden during and after the prank. Does that count? Why yes, that qualifies. Now do you want to sign the contract? Hell yeah, I want to sign it. I'm going to be so badass with this new technique, nobody will be able to stop me. An overjoyed Naruto started jumping around in happiness, making Luna once again wonder why this buffoon was going to be her new summoner. Okay, well, once you sign the scroll you will have to pass a test in order to retain the contract. Kind of like a rite of passage. Luna explained. What is a rite of passage? Naruto asked, now thoroughly confused. Oh my god, you really are an idiot. Sigh, look, just sign the scroll with your blood. To get the blood, cut yourself and sign your name. Then you will go into the forest and evade me for as long as you can, using all your tricks while I search you out. If you can do this we shall be your summons. Got all that? Luna summoned the scroll and waited for Naruto to sign it. Naruto quickly bit his finger and signed his name on the contract. It glowed a crimson red and eventually settled down to a dark blood red. Luna seemed to be taken back by this, but decided to let it be for now. Okay, now you have 30 seconds to hide from me, and remember, if I bite you or hit you with any attack you lose. Just try as hard as you can since you don't have to last all night, just most of it. Luna smiled as she explained all this to Naruto, who at this point had started to run away. As soon as Luna finished the countdown she smirked and started to give chase the blonde who she hoped would her new partner. Scene change. Hasan, can I ask you a question? Naruto implored to her crying mother. Kushina had been crying for the past couple hours and Naruto realized that the sun had started to set and decided that she might as well get Kushina to answer some of the questions that had plagued her mind since coming to Konoha. Sniffle, go ahead honey. Why did you leave Nai-san behind when you left? Naruto asked. She had never really questioned why her brother wasn't with them, and when she was old enough they told her that it was necessary that he be in Konoha. After that, they would always avoid the question and just say they would see him soon, so she just let it rest. But now that her family was falling apart she wanted to know. Well, it certainly wasn't easy if that's what you're asking, but if you want the full story I will tell you. Kushina said, still trying to get herself under control. Yes. Please tell me the whole story, Kasan. Naruto practically begged. Well, after you and your brother were born a masked man attacked us. He kidnapped you and your brother, forcing Minato to get you back into safety. He eventually did, but he had to leave me behind. The man then ripped the Kyuubi out of me and used it to attack Konoha. After that your father found me and took me to you two. I laid with you two for a while until Minato came back to take you so he could seal the Kyuubi into both of you. I protested saying that I wanted him to seal the Kyuubi back into me so that we could both die together. He said he would just reform and attack again, so he had to seal him into you two. After a huge argument he convinced me to allow it and performed the Shiki Fuijin and split the soul and chakra into Naruto and you respectively. So when the sealing was done me and Minato were extremely confused on how he was alive and how I had survived the extraction. We eventually just let it be for another day and Jiraiya showed up with Sarutobi. We explained to them what happened and Minato asked Jiraiya to watch over Naruto while he trained you to control the Kyuubi's chakra. But why did you leave him behind? Shouldn't he have been trained as well? Naruto interrupted, clearly confused at her mother's explanation. Minato told me he had split the chakra from its soul and that both needed to be together in order for the Kyuubi to come back. Even with that reason I protested. I didn't want to leave either of my babies behind. It took Minato and Jiraiya hours to convince me to leave him and it only worked when they said the masked man got away and would come back for the Kyuubi again. Even when you were growing up I kept asking Minato if we could at least visit your brother, but he always said Jiraiya had it handled and that I was needed with you. When Narumi came along I just didn't have the time to really question Minato on when we would go back, so I just trusted in his judgment. Now I see that I made the worst decision of our lives. Kushina quickly started to cry again, this time more profusely than before, as the full weight of what she did came to her. She had trusted Minato over her motherly instincts, and it destroyed the relationship she could have had with her son. "Ah-san, it will be okay, please stop crying. Naruto will come back, he will see that you're truly sorry and he will come back. I promise, just please stop crying." Naruko was upset with her mother for abandoning Naruto with a stranger, but reasoned that with childbirth, the extraction of a Biju and watching your husband almost die would be a lot of stress, which could hinder her thought process. She would have to talk to her father about what was going through his mind to get the full story, but if what Kushina said was true, then Minato basically picked favorites. "Sob, please go get your sister so I can get dinner started and we can discuss more at the table when your 2-cent gets home, okay?" Kushina, still crying, asked her daughter. Naruko went upstairs while Kushina tried to collect herself in order to start dinner when she heard Naruko cry out. "Ah-san, Narumi is gone. She isn't in her bed where I left her and I can't find her anywhere." Naruko rushed down the stairs, frantically looking around the living room. "What? Where could she have gone? Quick, check every room and then the yard. If she isn't there, go get your father while I start looking around the village." Kushina quickly put herself back together to help find her lost baby. After they scoured the house, Naruko went to find Minato while Kushina went throughout the village, asking if anyone had seen Narumi. Scene change couple hours later. Naruto could be seen running through the forest outside Konoha with a two-tailed kitsune hot on his trail. He had managed to evade Luna for 2 hours before she finally snuffed him out of his hole. Now she was using her fox fire, which he had learned really quickly that it burnt like hell when she hit a shadow clone he made. Ever since then he has been on the run, only having brief moments of rest while Luna seems to meander about, always finding him. It was quickly after another close call that Naruto ran into someone he never expected to find in the forest. "Nai-san." Little Narumi giggled as she held up her hands, asking him to pick her up. "And Narumi? What are you doing out here? And I'm not your Nai-san." A shocked Naruto stared at Narumi. "Nai-san, up." Narumi giggled as she held her arms up. Naruto looked behind him, searching for Luna, but figured he had about a minute before she caught up. He scooped up Narumi and continued running. A few minutes later he decided to sit down behind a tree and put Narumi in his lap. She looked up at his face and smiled. Soon she was scratching his whisker marks and giggling, while Naruto just looked at her lovingly and occasionally chuckled as her expression went from focused to excited every few seconds. They stayed like that for a few minutes before Naruto heard a voice he hoped he wouldn't hear for a long time. Well, what do we have here? A little baby girl and my summoner under a tree, cornered like rats. What shall I do with you, Naruto? I mean, you have nowhere to go, and that girl will surely slow you down. Give up?" Luna teased as she meandered her way into view directly in front of them. "How, Luna, look, this is well shit." Naruto dropped his head in defeat. Smack. "Ow. What was that for? I already admitted defeat." Naruto groaned as he rubbed his now bruised head. Luna, who had hit him with her tail, glared at him. "Watch your tongue, boy, there is a child present. And by the looks of things she is quite fond of you." Narumi meanwhile had managed to crawl off Naruto's lap and started to pet Luna, who in turn started purring at her touch. Naruto, still in pain, just looked at the cute scene before him. Luna had started to curl herself around the girl, bringing Narumi closer and licking her face. This made Narumi squeal in delight and throw her arms around the fox, who seemed perfectly content to let Narumi pamper her. "So are you going to introduce us or just stare at us?" Luna broke Naruto out of his stupor. Okay, Luna, this is my sister Narumi. Narumi, this is Luna, fox summon." Naruto finally introduced the two. Wuna. Narumi tested the name, but being a small child had trouble pronouncing it. Luna squealed, "OMG, so cute." She jumped right on Narumi and nuzzled her face. Naruto started chuckling and had to agree with Luna on how cute Narumi was. They stayed like that for a little while until Naruto came to a realization. "Hey Luna, does this mean I fail your test?" a dejected Naruto asked. He had come to like having Luna around, even though all she had done was chase him and lightly tease him while hurling fireballs at him. "Oh, that stupid test. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Just me having fun. You really only have to meet the great fox sage and have him decide if you are worthy." Luna quickly answered, still snuggling Narumi. This in turn made Naruto stare at Luna with a deadpan expression. "So the past couple hours with me avoiding fireballs was just for your own amusement?" "Yep, just some harmless fun." Sigh, a very content Luna who was still being pet by Narumi. "Bigglewina cute," cried out Narumi as she smoldered Luna with affection. "I love this little girl, Naruto. Can we keep her?" Luna asked as she chuckled with Narumi. "Of course we can, Luna, it's not like her parents will miss her or anything, and plus I heard they were total weaklings, so even if they come after us we can just kick their asses." Smack. Ow, what was that for? Naruto clutched his head again. "1 for cursing in front of Narumi and 2 because of your tone," Luna stated matter of fact. In response to this, Narumi laughed and laid her head down on Luna's back, as if ready to go to sleep. This became fact as she closed her eyes, and a few short moments she was sleeping. Luna looked down at Narumi and smiled. She licked her cheek and whispered, "Good night, little angel." After a few seconds, Luna asked Naruto about his life and what it was like for him growing up. Naruto answered her questions, and eventually she just asked him to tell him everything. So after a little deliberation, he told her his life story, from the neglect and abuse to the starvation and loneliness. As he was telling his tale, Luna got angry at all the people of this village and of his parents. After the tale was done, everything went quiet. Naruto was waiting for some kind of response while Luna was going over everything in her head. "Nai-san," sighed Narumi in her sleep while cuddling closer to Luna. Naruto could only watch as a warmth started to build in his chest. He coughed lightly and then whispered, "Come on, Luna, we need to get Narumi home before her parents freak out." "I'm very sorry that happened to you, Naruto. I haven't known you for long, but I can tell you're a good person. But you should at least recognize that they are your family. Not that I agree with what they did or that you should accept them into your life, but just say, yeah, they are my parents kind of thing." Luna whispered back while wrapping Narumi with her tail so she wouldn't fall. "No, never. I will never accept them as family," Naruto stubbornly stated. "Not even Narumi? She is still just a baby, Naruto." She had no idea what was going on. "Heck, she is probably wondering why you don't live with them," Luna asked as Narumi shifted in her sleep. Naruto saw this, and a small smile appeared on his face, but then he looked down and said, "You're right, Luna. I shouldn't be mad at Narumi, but it's hard to just forgive everyone. I still love her, but it's hard when you see how happy she is with everyone else. I hate them, and when she is cared for by them I just get immensely jealous." I'm rambling and don't make much sense, do I? No, I get you, Naruto. You're jealous of the family life she has. A mother who loves her, a father who cares for her, and a sister who plays with her. You want that too, but you don't trust them to provide that after all you have been through. Luna simplified it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Naruto stated to get teary-eyed. "Luna, don't I deserve a family that loves me and cares about me?" Naruto started to cry. "Of course you do, Naruto. Everyone deserves to have a family that cares for them. Plus I care about you, Naruto, and I'm sure others do too. You're a lovely boy and anyone would be lucky to have you as their child." Luna stopped Naruto to gaze up into his eyes. Naruto stopped and looked at her caring expression, then he broke down and cried, falling to his knees, and he flung his arms around Luna. She started rubbing her head against his and licked his cheek as he cried. They stayed like that for a few minutes until Naruto calmed down. "Thank you, Luna, I needed that," sniffled Naruto. "Anytime, Naruto. I will always be there for you. Just summon me and I will never turn you away." Luna smiled and looked back at Narumi. "Now come on, let's get this cutie home." "Narumi? Where are you?" yelled a frantic Kushina. She had been searching for hours trying to find her with no luck. Even when Minato joined and they couldn't find her. "Kushina-chan, I have sent Anbu to scour outside the walls in case she got out somehow or someone took her," Minato explained to Kushina. Naruko stood behind her father with a depressed look on her face. "Don't worry, Naruko, we will find your sister," Kushina assured her child even though she was having doubts herself. Another 30 minutes went by before an Anbu wearing a cat mask reported seeing Narumi on the back of a two-tailed fox next to their son Naruto. With this knowledge, Kushina and Naruko bolted while Minato told the Anbu to turn in for the night and get some rest. He used the Hirishin to catch up to Kushina and Naruko and soon turned a corner right in front of Naruto. When they turned the corner and locked eyes with Naruto, everything seemed to freeze. Nobody spoke or moved, and all that could be heard was Narumi's even breathing as she slept in the fox's embrace. Eventually Kushina and Naruko broke out of the trance and said, "Hello Sachi Nai-san, it's so good to see you. How are you doing? Would you like to come home for dinner? How did you find Narumi? Who is the fox? Are you alright?" There were so many questions that Naruto was too stunned to pick up who was saying what. One minute he was walking peacefully with Luna and the next he was standing in front of the three people he never wanted to see again. Kushina and Naruko on the other hand were still stunned, but now they just wanted to know how Narumi got to Naruto and to get Naruto to go back home with them. Minato, who had been silent the entire time, just glanced at Naruto before turning his gaze upon the fox. Naruto noticed this and pushed all other thoughts out of his head before moving to block Minato's view of Luna. This stopped Kushina's and Naruko's questions as they finally took in the fox and realized that Minato had not said a word. "Minato-kun, what's wrong?" Kushina asked, confused on why Minato was staring at the fox. "That fox, it's a summon," Minato coldly stated as his gaze turned into a glare. "So what, it's not the 9 tails? But I do wonder how you got a fox summon to follow you, Naruto," Kushina implored. "Her name is Luna, and as to how I found her, that's none of your business." Naruto glared right at Minato. Luna in turn glared at Minato as well after inspecting the other two women. Her grip tightened slightly around Narumi, who in turn started to wake. Wuma comfy. Narumi tried rolling around as she opened her eyes. She gazed around before her gaze settled on Kushina. Ka-san. I find Nai-san and cute Wuna. Kushina at this point smiled warmly at Narumi for how cute she was acting. Hello there Narumi-chan, are you enjoying your ride on Luna's back? You look so adorable right now, don't you? Yes you do. Ka-san was so worried about you. Why did you leave the house? Kushina made cute faces at Narumi, who giggled. I want Nai-san, so I find Nai-san. Wuna with Nai-san and she cute and fluffy. Narumi explained while she started to hug Luna again. This made Luna start to purr as she brought Narumi in front of her to lick her and put her down. Narumi, after being put down, crawled over to Naruto's leg and hugged it as asked Naomi up now Nai-san. Naruto looked down at her and couldn't help the small smile that formed on his face. He bent down and picked her up, much to Narumi's delight. Kushina looked on with a wistful yet loving gaze. She just hoped that Naruto would come back, even if it was just for Narumi, so they could be a family and earn back his trust. Sadly, that wasn't going to happen tonight as he moved forward with a cold piercing gaze. Here, take Narumi back to your house and this time make sure she can't wander off. Someone less friendly than me might find her next time. Naruto handed Narumi to Kushina. But Sachi, why don't you come live with us? I know we made mistakes but are sorry, please come back with us. Narumi will miss you so much and I know I miss you terribly, please Sachi come home with us. Kushina begged Naruto as she held Narumi. Nai-san no come home? Narumi asked while looking at Naruto. I'm sorry Narumi, but I refuse to be in the same building as those people. When you're older you will understand, but for now I'm sorry and good night. Naruto walked up, kissed Narumi on the head and turned to leave. Kushina, who had started crying again, held Narumi close to her to try and comfort herself. Naruko started to get teared up as well and Narumi started crying about how she wanted Nai-san with her. Hearing Narumi cry broke Naruto's and Luna's hearts, but they knew they couldn't do anything about it while still on bad terms with Namika's family. Minato at this point decided now was the time to speak up. Look Naruto, come back home. We all miss you and I know for a fact you don't want to hurt Narumi. Now why don't you come home and we can explain why we had to leave you here. And while we are at it, you can tell me how you got the fox summoning contract. Yes, I know she gave you the contract, otherwise she wouldn't be here. Minato had on a cold gaze at the end, as if daring Naruto to disobey him. He did care for his son, but he had to keep the village's safety first in his mind. Or so he thought, and having the fox contract under Konoha's control would be extremely beneficial to the village. Naruto turned quickly, but before he could respond someone else did. Look here bub, if you ever talk like that to my Naruto again, I will cause you so much misery that you will wish for death. Now back off. Or I will get my mother here to destroy this lousy village and you. Oh, and before we leave, know that nobody in Konoha except Naruto will ever get our contract, and that is final. Luna, who finally spoke, glared daggers at Minato while unleashing a surprising amount of killer intent. Naruto stared down at her, stunned beyond words, while Minato was shocked that a summon would threaten an entire village just for one person, even if it was his son. Kushina had momentarily stopped to gaze at Luna before sobbing uncontrollably while Naruto finally started crying. Minato seemed to get pretty angry but let out a sigh instead and grabbed Naruto and Kushina and used the Hirishin to go home. Back at home, the crying continued as Kushina took Narumi and Naruto to a separate room away from Minato, stating she needed some space for a while. She tucked both her daughters in before snuggling up to them and crying herself to sleep. Narumi fell asleep soon after hitting the bed as she was tired from all the stress she was put through tonight. Naruto took longer to fall asleep, but right before she did, one thought crossed her mind. I need Nai-san's forgives and I will do anything to earn it. With that thought she fell asleep. Minato on the other hand was surprised his wife wouldn't want to be near him as well. He had asked Naruto to return with him as well as try and strengthen the village. He knew that she wouldn't be pleased with anything but success, even so she wouldn't just leave him alone, right? Well, might as well get some sleep. We can discuss this in the morning. And with that Minato went to sleep. Back with Naruto at apartment. The walk to his apartment had been a silent one. Luna had decided that after the Namikazes left she would lay across Naruto's shoulders like a scarf with her head close to Naruto's. They were both a bit unsettled by that encounter. Naruto was annoyed that Minato expected him to return and pretty much give him the fox contract. He may not have said it aloud, but the look in his eyes was more than enough for Naruto to know what he wanted. Luna, however, was just peeved about how Naruto's father treated him. She had expected his mother and sister's reactions, but the father's was unbelievable. It was like he only saw Naruto as a way to get stronger. At least his mother and sister genuinely cared about him, or at least that was how it appeared to her. She would have to discuss this with Naruto on a later date when she learned more information. When they arrived, Luna was astonished by the state of repair the building was in. As Naruto opened the door, she cringed at the sight. Sure, it wasn't the most disorganized living space she had seen, but it definitely didn't look livable, especially if her sense of smell was working right. There was quite a bit of things wrong with the apartment. From the broken boarded-up window to the patches of mold scattered throughout the place, it was a wonder he hasn't gotten sick yet. Look, Naruto, I know this has been a long night and you should be getting some sleep, but we really need to clean this place up. You could get sick or even worse, I could get sick. She tried her hand at humor in hopes of cheering him up and lightening the mood. The chuckle she received in return was more than enough to confirm that her attempt was successful. How about I make shadow clones do to it for me and we can get some sleep, we do have team placement tomorrow. Naruto yawned as he made a couple shadow clones who immediately started to clean. Team placement? What do you mean by that? Luna, who knew a little about the ninja world, had never heard of that before. Sure, she had heard of teams going out to do missions, but never with a genin. Oh, each genin gets put into a squad of 4 with 2 other genin and a jounin sensei, who is supposed to teach us cool jutsu and make us stronger. Naruto yawned as he finished the explanation. Interesting. Who would you like to be paired with? Anyone I should know about? She asked as she waited for Naruto to lay down. Anyone but Sasuke Uchiha and Naruto Namikaze. I wouldn't mind being on a team with Sakura-chan, but she does tend to be very noisy and kind of annoying now that I think about it. You know what, anyone but those 3 and I will be happy. Naruto, who had been changing into his pajamas, finally laid down on his bed. Luna walked over and curled into a ball on his chest with her head facing his. This is going to be my sleeping spot for whenever I stay over. Hope you don't mind. Luna teased as Naruto blushed at her close proximity. I don't mind at all, Luna, Naruto stuttered out. She may be a fox, but she was still a female, and he had never been this close to anyone before, so he was nervous. Gee, good night, Luna. He managed to say to the fox, who looked like she was already asleep. He was about to join her in sleep when he heard her mumble, good night, Naruto-kun. When he looked down, he could see her smiling face as her steady breathing signaled she was finally asleep. Morning. Luna, are you up yet? Naruto shouted as he made a small breakfast. Last night the clones had done a remarkable job cleaning. Everything was practically spotless. The mold had been expunged for the most part and all the broken glass and garbage was cleaned. A person could actually live here now. DRRRR 5 more minutes, Naruto. It's too early to be awake now. Luna growled out as she tried burying her head under the pillow. Naruto chuckled as he put out 2 cereal bowls, one with milk and another just plain cereal. Come in and eat your breakfast, team placement is in 2 hours. Naruto sat in one of his chairs and started eating. Ugh, fine, you win, but only because you're cute. Luna winked as she meandered from the bed to the table. Naruto just blushed and kept eating. After a few bites of breakfast she asked. Are you ready for whatever happens today? Concern plainly evident in her voice. What do you mean? Naruto was now confused. What would he have to worry about? He would go to class, get put on a team, and that would be it. Right. Well, what will you do if you get put on a team with your twin or with the other 2 people you mentioned last night? Luna questioned as her gaze locked with his. I don't know, Luna. I guess I will just go with the flow and hope I don't get put on a team with them. I mean, I can handle Sasuke or Sakura, it's just Naruto that I really don't want to be on a team with. Naruto said. I will be with you every step of the way, Naruto. Don't you forget that. Luna reassured as she moved to nuzzle Naruto's face. Thank you, Luna. I'm so glad we met and I wish you could stay here always. Naruto closed his eyes as he felt the soft fur caress his face. Maybe one day I will, Naruto, but not today. I still want to live in my new den for a little while before moving everything out again. Besides, once you find a nice girl you won't want me here to spoil the mood anyway. Luna chuckled as he blushed again, stuttering random nonsense at her declaration. So what would you like to do for the 2 hours before team placement? Naruto asked Luna. How about we just talk on the couch? Luna suggested. You mean I sit on the couch while you are in my lap with me petting you as you sleep? Right. Naruto deadpanned. Yep. Luna cheered. Yeah, you're one lazy fox, alright. Naruto rolled his eyes. Hey, I'm more active than your fat ass. I was barely winded last night while you were tired after only a few hours. Luna countered. I was dodging fireballs and your jaws, lady who wouldn't be winded. And besides, you walked most of the time and barely ran. Plus you got to ride on my shoulders. You're not exactly light, you know. Naruto retorted. Are you calling me fat boy? Luna stated in a calm manner. Too calm for Naruto's liking. You have 5 seconds to run before I show you just how hot my fire can get. Luna glared at Naruto with death in her eyes. Needless to say, those 2 hours were spent running around the apartment dodging an angry kitsune. Naruto learned never to mention a lady's weight unless it was to compliment them. As things finally died down, Naruto flung himself on the couch groaning at his aching muscles. Luna jumped on his back and sat there in a regal pose. So what time is team placement anyway? Luna asked in a bored tone. 12, why? Because it's already 12:30. Luna said as she looked at the clock. Naruto bolted upright, throwing Luna off his back as he ran to get changed, cursing his luck. Luna just chuckled at her summoner's misfortune. Classroom. I wonder what is taking Nai-sen so long. Naruto thought as she glanced at the door for the 100th time since the beginning of class. She knew class hadn't started because Iruka-sensei was waiting for Naruto to arrive, but now she wondered if he would show up at all. She sighed and glanced to her left where she saw the obviously uncomfortable Hinata fidget under her gaze. Again with a sigh. She had tried talking to the girl, but she hadn't made much conversation. Well, I guess he isn't showing. She heard a downtrodden Iruka mumble before turning to the class. And right as he was about to address the class, the door burst open, revealing one tried-looking Naruto Uzumaki. I'm here, sensei. He shouted at the top of his lungs. Iruka smiled and then yelled, where have you been? You could have missed the placements. There's no way I would miss this day, Iruka-sensei, believe it. He shouted, pumping his fist in the air. Smack. Ow, come and stop doing that, Luna. Cried Naruto as he held his head. At this point everyone finally noticed the two-tailed fox next to Naruto. I thought I told you on the way here to never say that stupid phrase again. It's just terrible, along with that horrible jumpsuit. We are so going shopping after this. Luna scolded him. Everyone was shocked at the talking fox who seemed to keep Naruto under control. Eventually Luna realized that all eyes were on her and said, what are you all looking at? Is this really the first time you have seen a summon interact with their summoner? As she gazed around she caught sight of a hooded boy with a small dog on his head. He had fang-like tattoos on his face and was glaring at her while the dog was growling. Naruto, what are you doing with that thing? And why did you bring it here? The boy asked. This thing, asshole, is called Luna and she is my personal fox summon, and if you don't treat her with respect I will clobber you into next week. Naruto snarled at the boy. Enough. Naruto, sit down, and Kiba, calm down now before I threw both of you out. Iruka yelled at the two, clearly frustrated with how things were turning out. Naruto had watched the whole thing and as Naruto passed her she reached out to grab his hand. But before she made contact Luna swatted her hand away with a glare. She just looked down with tears in her eyes as her first attempt to get closer to Naruto failed. Hinata, who had noticed, put her hand on her arm in sympathy. Hinata had known about how the Namikazes abandoned Naruto, but she didn't blame Naruto's sisters. They had nothing to do with it, and in that instance where she saw how he completely ignored her, she decided to try and help Naruto any way she could. Naruto took his seat at the back of the class next to Shino, nodded at Naruto, and offered a hello to Luna. She looked at Naruto, clearly annoyed, and said, well, are you going to introduce me to your friend Naruto, or are we going to have a repeat of this morning? Gulping, Naruto quickly introduced them. Shino, this is Luna, Luna, this is Shino. Hello there. Luna smiled up at the Abiram. He nodded down at her and returned his attention to Iruka, who had been giving out the teams. As he called out each of the teams he skipped over Team 7. At the end of his list of teams he finally addressed the issue of Team 7. Many are wondering why I skipped Team 7. Well, that is because of having an extra student graduate this year. So Team 7 will be comprised of 2 Jounin and 4 Genin. Those Genin are Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno. Everyone covered their ears as she screamed yes, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. He would have continued if not for an interruption. It's just Uzumaki, don't affiliate me with those bastards. Naruto growled out as he glared at Iruka. Okay then, language aside, Naruto Uzumaki and Naruto Namikaze. Your 2 Jounin senseis will be Kakashi Haddock and Kushina Namikaze. Iruka finished with a tick mark on his forehead courtesy of Naruto. But why is that woman my Jounin sensei? You can't honestly believe I would ever listen to that hag. Naruto yelled, which in turn pushed Iruka over the edge. He didn't like the arrangement either, but Naruto had to learn things were beyond his control. Naruto, that is enough. I know you don't like it, but just deal with it. There is nothing you can do about it. Iruka yelled, effectively silencing a now pissed Naruto. Luna just laid on the desk and listened to the whole exchange, wondering what would happen with Naruto's family now that they were all on the same team. Seeing that her summoner was distressed, she moved to nuzzle his face in order to cheer him up. It managed to at least calm him down, but he was still in a bad mood. It has been an honor and a privilege to call you my students, and I wish all of you the best of luck. Now wait here and your new senseis will come collect you. Good luck. And with that, Iruka left. One by one the teams left, eventually leaving Team 7 on their own. When that happened, Naruto tried to set up a prank for their senseis, but Luna put a stop to that with a smack of her tail. Eventually, after an hour of waiting, Kakashi came in and looked around. Everyone stared back at him expectantly. Everyone on the roof, 1 minute. Then he was gone as a swirl of leaves. After he left, everyone made their way to the roof to find both Kakashi and Kushina. Kakashi was reading his book, while Kushina was glaring angrily at Kakashi. Would you put that stupid porn away now before you corrupt my babies? Kushina yelled at Kakashi. Everyone's sweat dropped as Kakashi put his book away. Now then, hello everyone. I hope you weren't waiting too long. Kushina smiled towards the group. It's been an hour, where were you guys? Screeched the banshee known as Sakura. Luna glared at her as she covered her ears with her paws. Well, we had a meeting with the Hokage this morning about the teams and we talked longer than we originally intended to. But that's behind us now, then why don't we all introduce ourselves, naming our likes, dislikes and dreams? Kushina happily said as she looked them over. Okay Sakura, you go first. But sensei, shouldn't you go first to show us how it is done? Sakura asked. Okay, my name is Kushina Namikaze, my likes are all my children. She sent a meaningful look to Naruto, who just rolled his eyes. Few and just to. My dislikes are people who hurt my babies, as well as liars and perverts. My dream is to have my entire family together again. With that said, she glanced once again at Naruto, who looked bored as he examined his nails. Okay Sakura, your turn. My name is Sakura Haruno, my likes are giggles, my dislikes are blonde boys with whisker marks, and my dream is to marry giggle someone. After Sakura said this, Kushina's sweat dropped because of how much of a fangirl she was being. Okay, we are going to go down the line people, so Naruto-kun, you're next. Kushina smiled lovingly at her son. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, my likes are Ramen, Luna, Narumi, my friends and training, and my dislikes are the Namikazes, except Narumi, people who judge others before getting to know them, and people who hurt my friends. My dream is to be Hokage and become the strongest ninja that ever lived. Luna smiled at Naruto's dreams, but was a little miffed that he mentioned hating the Namikazes in front of his teammates. She would have to talk with him about that. Kushina and Naruto just looked sad when he finished. Both felt responsible for Naruto's abandonment and they were partially right, but they had hoped that he would let them in so they could heal his broken heart and form the bonds both so desperately desire. Everyone else was just surprised by his statement about the Namikaze family. After a few seconds, the next person went. My name is Sasuke Uchiha, my likes are training, my dislikes are a certain person, and my dream is to restore my clan and kill a certain someone. Kushina and Kakashi immediately picked up on his Avenger complex and hoped he would grow out of it. My name is Naruto Namikaze, my likes are my family and training, my dislikes are people who hurt others for no reason, and my dream is to be the strongest kunoichi ever. My name is Kakashi Haddock, my likes are few, dislikes are none of your business, and my dream isn't important. Kushina just deadpanned at him. Everyone else sweat dropped at the lack of information. So Luna, why don't you go since you're here as well? Kushina asked as she looked at Luna. My name is Luna, my likes are Naruto-kun, sleeping and rabid, my dislikes are anyone who hurts Naruto-kun and waking up early. My dream is to achieve 9 tails and become a powerful vixen. She said as she jumped onto Naruto's shoulders and made herself comfortable. Well, now that we know a little bit about each other, we will call it a day. Meet us at Training Ground 7 tomorrow morning at 7 to take your final test. And before anyone freaks out, this is just to weed out the people who aren't mentally ready to be a genin. Kushina said, noticing that Sakura was going to screech again. Oh, and by the way, don't eat breakfast, you will just throw it up. Kakashi said before a swirl of leaves took him elsewhere. With his departure, everyone started to leave, except for Kushina, who called out, Naruto-kun, would you mind staying behind for a minute please? Fine. Naruto grumbled as Luna frowned at Kushina. Naruto looked back but decided against staying as her mother needed personal time with him. Once everyone was gone, she started to speak. Sachi, please just give us a chance. We are so sorry for. Shut up. You left me here for 13 years to suffer while you guys had the time of your lives. I'm sick of the apologies. Just leave me alone and we won't have any issues. Naruto screamed in rage. Kushina just fell to her knees and started crying. Please Sachi, come back to me, I need you, please. I will do anything, just come back to me. I didn't know you were being abused, I would never have let that happen, it's just that Minato said the masked man was still searching for us and that we would put you in danger if we came back, but please just let us in so we can be a family again. Kushina continued to sob as Naruto just glared at her. His glare had lessened, but only because of how much pain she was obviously in. He hated seeing people in pain due to his own experiences, but he knew he had to be absolute and not give ground. If you really want to start even remotely fixing it, then start by leaving me alone and staying out of my life. Naruto just glared down at her and left. Luna hopped of Naruto's shoulder when he was inside the door and told him she would meet him back at the apartment. He just nodded and kept walking. When he was out of sight, she went back out onto the roof and looked at the sobbing wreck that was Kushina. Sensing someone was in front of her, Kushina looked up and sobbed again as she saw Luna with a calculating gaze on her face. Do you love Naruto? Kushina jumped in surprise at hearing Luna's question. Would you die for him? Take his pain as your own if you could. Yes, anything to get my Sachi back. Kushina cried as she looked at Luna. Well, you aren't lying. If you want your son back, Kushina, then give him space. A lot of space. He wants a family too, but he is afraid you will leave him again. I know this because his eyes are an open book if you know what to look for. Be patient and in time you will get Naruto back. As for Minato, I suggest you reevaluate your relationship with that man. When I met him the other night I detected very little amounts of love for Naruto. Heck, I don't even think he cares much about Naruto other than what he can do. With that said, Luna walked up to Kushina, licked her cheek, then took off to find Naruto. Thank you Luna, take care of my Sachi for me. Kushina softly said after her. Luna's words had given her hope. She just wished it wasn't so painful knowing you couldn't help your child through their troubles. Naruto, stop pacing and get over it. Luna groaned in frustration as Naruto kept pacing, cursing under his breath. After she left Kushina, she tracked his scent back to the apartment where she watched him pace back and forth for the past half an hour. But Luna, how could they do that? I mean, really? Didn't I make it obvious that I don't want to be around them? I was pretty straightforward about that if I remember correctly. Naruto snapped at her and continued pacing. Don't you dare take that tone with me, Naruto. I am on your side in this, but you have to give ground sometimes. You may hate her, but she is your mother, just let her train you and see where that leads. You don't have to let her in, but you can take her knowledge. Luna glared at him. Naruto finally stopped pacing and sat next to Luna on the couch with a sigh. Luna moved onto his lap and licked his cheek before nuzzling his face, making him chuckle at her antics before petting her. See, all better now. Why don't you make some clones to go study at the library while I take you shopping? Luna beamed as Naruto cheered up. Why should I make clones go to the library while I go shopping? Naruto inquired as he got up, putting Luna on the floor. So they can read books on how to improve yourself. Naruto, I want you to be ready for tomorrow, and no summoner of mine is going to be the laughingstock of a village. Although you may be the laughingstock of the whole world if you don't get rid of the awful jumpsuit. Luna looked him over, assessing him. But I like this jumpsuit. It's orange and that's the most baddest color out there. And I would not be the laughingstock of the whole world. Besides, my ninja skills aren't that bad. Naruto replied with a huff, crossing his arms and turning away. Look Naruto, I am one of the weakest fox summons there is, and if I could easily track you and practically hit you every time, then there is a problem. You show great promise, but you're abysmal at the basics. Anyway, I will know much more tomorrow when I watch you take that test tomorrow. So let's go shopping. Luna cheered after lecturing Naruto. Naruto just groaned, made the clones and started heading for the door. When they made it to the street, Luna took her perch on his shoulder and looked around. People started to notice the odd pair and started whispering about them. Some occasionally pointed, but that was all. All this attention made Naruto a nervous wreck as he never liked all the attention as it usually led to beatings and hurtful remarks. Luna noticed his discomfort and nuzzled his cheek. When he looked at her, he smiled and scratched behind her ears. Luna purred as his hands worked wonders. Eventually Luna moved her head away to go back to gazing at the different stores. How about that one? Luna asked as she eyed a store with ninja apparel in the windows. Sure, we could give it a try. Naruto said as he walked to the store. When he walked in, a bell rang signifying a customer entering the store. The man behind the counter looked up and frowned, but other than that kept to himself. Luna noticed the frown and glared at the man, but quickly focused back on the clothes as Naruto walked around. Okay, let's see what we can get. I think black would be much better for you, plus it is the color of my fur, so it will work nicely together. Try these pants, this shirt, these sandals, and we can change your headband from blue to black with this cloth. She had jumped down and continued to lead him to more and more clothes, much to his misery. After about 45 minutes she finally made him go try them on. Over the next 30 minutes they went through countless changes until finally settling on black Anbu pants and long sleeve shirt, a black trench coat with red flames on the bottom, like his coat when he fights Pain, and black ninja sandals. Now look at you. You're a real cutie with that on. If I didn't know you better I might just fall for you. Luna teased with a wink. Naruto blushed a deep crimson and looked at himself. There isn't any orange though. He moaned as he looked over his new clothes. Oh well, at least now you look like a ninja, although I think the coat will be left for special occasions like missions. Luna was back on his shoulder as she appraised her summoner. Okay, I'm fine with that, but still, why couldn't anything be orange? Naruto asked again. Don't make me hit you, Naruto-kun. Luna teased as she smirked at him. Now how about dinner? Anything good around, or was everyone an ass to you and kicked you out? Well, there was one place that was always nice to me. Would you like to go there? Naruto asked her, his stomach already growling in anticipation. Sure, let's go. I'm getting sick of all these people staring at us, so move your ass, blondie. Luna perked up at the mention of a place that didn't mistreat Naruto. Geez, you got one heck of a mouth, you know. Naruto began walking faster towards his favorite place in the world. Hey, little Narumi isn't here, and it's fun watching all these people do double takes whenever I curse. Don't worry, I won't make it a habit unless it's to tease you. Luna smiled at him. Figures you would only do it to mess with people. Naruto deadpanned as he turned the final corner and stopping in front of Ichiraku's. Well, this is the place. He smiled as good memories came flooding back to him. Well, the smell is certainly delicious. I hope they have meat. Luna's mouth started to water. Haha, don't worry Luna, they have lots of meat. With that said, Naruto sprang forward, throwing the curtain aside as he proclaimed, "Old man, your superstar customer has returned. Believe it." Smack. How many times do I have to tell you never to say that stupid phrase again, you dope? Luna yelled at him as he once again clutched his head. Biggle, hello Naruto-kun, I see you brought a friend this time around. Would you mind introducing us? Came a voice from behind the counter. Oh hi Am-chan, this here is Luna. Luna, this is Am-chan. She is the daughter of the old man who owns this place. It is a pleasure to meet you, Luna. It's nice to see Naruto making new friends. Am giggled again as they sat down. Hello Am, it's a pleasure to meet you as well. Luna smiled as she assessed the girl. Am noticed Luna assessing her and decided to change the subject before it got too uncomfortable. So what would you like, Luna? Naruto, I assume you want the usual. Am asked as she got her pen and pad ready. I will take your beef ramen please. Luna told her after glancing at the menu. The usual will work for me. Naruto had a mile-wide smile on his face. Okay, 1 beef ramen and 13 miso ramen coming right up. Am smiled as she prepared to give the order to her father. Wait 1 second there, Missy. Luna cried out, causing Am to turn around and her father to peek out from the back. What's wrong, Luna? Naruto asked. There is no way I am watching you eat 13 bowls of ramen, Naruto. It isn't healthy for you. You can have 4 bowls and after we shall go get some vegetables for you later. Am and Mr. Ichiraku were shocked that someone would try and deny the boy his ramen, while Naruto had tears gushing down his face. Please Luna, don't take away my ramen. It's my one true love, please don't take it away. Naruto cried. Nope, just 4. Now stop crying like a baby and scratch behind my ears. Luna commanded as she moved to sit in his lap. Naruto scratched behind her ears and he continued to cry over his precious ramen. Meanwhile, the Ichirakus got over their shock and proceeded to make the order. Am informed her father on what the fox's name was and then proceeded to talk to Luna. So Luna, how did you and Naruto meet? Naruto performed the summoning Justu and poof, there I was. Been with him ever since. That was a couple days ago I think. I don't remember exactly. But how long have you known Naruto? Any funny stories about my blonde Gaki? Luna implored while Naruto paled. So for the rest of dinner, Luna and Am talked about multiple topics, most including Naruto. They continued to talk long after they had eaten the ramen. Eventually Naruto fell asleep right there and Luna and Am just laughed as he snored. He's so cute when he sleeps. Luna said as she nuzzled his face in an attempt to wake him. Yeah, he is a little cutie. I'm glad you got rid of that jumpsuit though. His new clothes really make him look handsome. Am chuckled as Naruto swatted Luna away in his sleep. Back of girlfriend, this boy is mine. Luna playfully glared at Am, who only chuckled at Luna's antics. Naruto finally began to stir from all the laughter and when he looked up he came face to face with Luna. The kiss on the first date. Sorry Naruto-kun, but I'm not that fast. Luna playfully winked at him. Naruto proceeded to jump back out of his seat blushing while stuttering unintelligible words. This caused both girls to laugh like crazy while he started to calm down and grumble about teasing foxes. Luna. Nai-san. Naruto looked behind him and froze while Luna stopped laughing and stared at the newcomers. Am sensing the tension went to talk to her father. See, I told you I find Nai-san. Narumi giggled as she waved toward Naruto and Luna. Hello Nai-san. Narumi wanted to see you so I thought I could bring her. Can we sit with you Nai-san? Naruto looked down as Naruto glared at her. Luna just looked on wondering how Naruto would react. I guess so. Naruto groaned out as he turned around and did his best to ignore Naruto. Naruto sat down next to him and Narumi held her arms out toward Naruto while giggling. He eventually took Narumi and smiled down at her. She giggled again and turned to Luna, who had moved to stand on the counter in front of them. Luna fuzzy. Narumi happily cried as Luna nuzzled her face. Luna looked at Naruto then to Naruto before taking Narumi with her tails and placing her on her back. I am going to play with this little angel now, behave you two, and if you try and leave before I come back Naruto, I will destroy all the ramen you have in the apartment and tell Am never to sell to you ever again. With that she left a very angry Naruto and nervous Naruto to talk. Narumi only squealed in delight as Luna carried her around. Nai-san, Naruto began. I'm not your Nai-san Naruto. I never will be. Now why don't you just leave me alone? Naruto growled. But we are on the same team Naruto. We are going to have to get along a little bit in order to complete mission. Naruto tried to reason with him hoping he would at least allow her in during their missions. The only reason I am even on your team is because the damned 4th Hokage decided to put us on the same team. That doesn't mean I have to like it. Naruto glared at her. I know, and I'm not here seeking forgiveness, Naruto. I don't deserve it, but I would like to get to know you as my teammate. Please at least give me that. Naruko begged as she looked at Naruto. What, don't you people get it? I want nothing to do with you people. I just want to be left alone. Naruto continued to glare at her. We just want to love you, Naruto. I want to be the sister I was never able to be with you. Naruko pleaded. It's a little late for that, Namikaze. Naruto snapped at her. With tears in her eyes she stood up and said, you know, I wanted to go back to you as soon as I could walk, Naruto. I begged and pleaded but they wouldn't listen. Sometimes Ka-san would agree with me, but Tu-san always said it was best and kept us away. I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you. I love you, Nai-san, good night. With that she ran out of the place crying. She was stopped when she saw Luna sitting down the street looking at her with Narumi playing with her tails. She walked over still crying, and when she was about to pick up Narumi, Luna grabbed her wrist with one of her tails. Look, Naruko, I can tell you generally care about Naruto and I want him to have a family, but forcing yourselves on him like that will only make things worse. I will talk to him since I know you had no power when it came to returning, but give him space. I promise you will get your Nai-san back. With that Luna stood up like Narumi and bid them good night. Ni-chan, are you okay? Narumi asked as Naruko picked her up. Yes, Narumi-chan, I am fine. Naruko lied as she started walking home. I wish Nai-san would come home with us. Narumi sighed as tears came to her eyes. Don't cry, Narumi, he will come back eventually. I promise. Naruko dried her tears and pulled Narumi closer. Back with Naruto. I didn't think you would make her cry, Naruto. Luna said as she strolled into Ichiraku's. She just pissed me off, Luna. I mean, first Kushina and now her. What did you expect to happen? For me to forgive her? Never. Naruto stood up and stormed out of Ichiraku's. No, I didn't expect you to forgive her. But I did expect you to let her in at least as a teammate. Naruto-kun, she had no control over what your parents did. She is innocent just like Narumi. I just wish you could see that. Luna sighed. I really don't want to talk about this right now, okay, let's just go back to the apartment and call it a night. With that said he stormed off towards his apartment. Luna looked at him, concern clearly written on her face, but she let it go. She knew when he needed space. She just hoped he would let someone else into his broken heart soon. Wakey wakey Naruto-kun, time to get up. Luna nuzzled his face as she tried to wake her blonde companion. Said blonde only groaned and rolled over. Growling, Luna decided to bite Naruto's rear end, which in turn woke up everyone in the building as he screamed in pain. What the fucking shit was that? Kami, that fucking hurt. Naruto yelled as he clutched his aching butt. Smack. Watch your mouth in front of a lady, Naruto. Luna said after she hit him over the head with her tail. He's okay, I'm up, no need to hit me anymore, sheesh. Naruto groaned as he got up. He turned to look at the clock and saw that it was 5:30. Luna, why did you wake me up so early? Well, if you must know, I want to test something, so make about 5 clones and send them to the library. If it's closed, break and find some low-level ninjutsu and have them study it until they know it by heart and then go poof. Plus I want you to have a nice healthy breakfast as we go over your strategy for the test. Luna explained as she walked towards the kitchen. Why would I have to learn ninjutsu right now? Isn't what I learned in the academy enough for the test? Naruto asked as he made the clones. I doubt it will be enough, Naruto. Some of those students must have had family members who were ninja, right? Well, if so, then they were most likely taught some extra moves and tricks in order to give them an edge. I want to give you an edge as well, but since we don't have time to practice it, we will just have to wing it. Luna explained yet again. Oh, that makes sense. Okay guys, you heard the woman, get to it. He pushed his clones out the door. Now about that healthy breakfast, Naruto-kun. Luna sent him a smirk as he groaned. Fine, I will make eggs and have some fruit. Anything you want, or is cereal still good for you? Naruto asked as he got ready to cook. Cereal will be just fine, Naruto-kun. Thank you, she winked when she said the new nickname. He just blushed and shook his head. Naruto quickly made breakfast and they ate in silence. Naruto was thinking about what Luna had said to him last night and he was regretting how he spoke to her. Luna was thinking about how she should readdress last night's issue. It had bothered her immensely on how he had spoken to her, and even though she was playing nice, she was deeply hurt. Luna, I'm sorry about how I treated you last night. You didn't deserve it and I was a total asshole. You were trying to help and I snapped at you. Naruto apologized as he moved away from the table to bow an apology. It's alright, Naruto. I forgive you. You were under a lot of stress and weren't thinking clearly. So how about we leave it behind us, okay? Luna smiled at Naruto's honest apology. I would like that very much, Luna. Naruto smiled back at her. After he said that, he got up and gave her a hug while she nuzzled her face into his shoulder and liked his cheek. After breakfast, Naruto got dressed while Luna waited on the couch. When he walked in, she motioned for him to sit next to her so she could lay out the plan. Look, the test will most likely be either teamwork and skill or problem solving under pressure and evasion. Luna explained as Naruto listened attentively. Luna, wouldn't they test all of those at the same time to check if we are really genin? Naruto asked. Very good observation, Naru-kun. Yes, all those skills will be tested to some degree, but only a few will really stand out. For example, if you have low skill but great teamwork, you may be permitted to stay in the squad, but if you have no teamwork but a lot of skill, they may decide you're a liability to the team and send you back. So it is crucial that you team up with at least one of them. All would be preferable, but I doubt they will all go for it. Luna answered with a satisfied smile. Oh, that makes sense. So what should we do once we team up with others? Naruto eagerly asked. We? Oh no, I will be watching you, Naruto, and giving you tips on the fly. I will not participate unless provoked by your senseis. Luna said. But aren't we supposed to be a team? How can I fight them without you? Naruto panicked as he pictured himself getting his ass handed to him. Dumbus, you have teammates for a reason. I won't always be there for you, so rely on them, not me. Plus, how can you become stronger if you rely on me all the time? Luna scolded Naruto. Well, yeah, I have teammates, but I don't exactly trust one of them, another is a useless fangirl, and the last is an emo freak with an ego as big as the village. I wanted someone I could count on 100%. I didn't mean to insinuate I would rely on you all the time. Naruto mumbled as he looked down. Don't be sad, Naruto. I'm just trying to teach you that relying on others isn't always the best option. Now I know that sounds counterproductive, but just rely on yourself most of the time and only rely on teammates if you absolutely need to. If you can't stand on your own 2 feet, then how can you help hold up a team? Luna consoled a troubled Naruto. Okay, so now that I know I need at least one of them on my side, what do I do? Naruto asked. You converse with that person to come up with a plan. Hopefully your clones can pick up enough justice to make you a formidable fighter. Granted, with no practice, I suggest you be extremely cautious. I don't want you hurting yourself because of a just-do I made you learn. Anyway, I think that is really it, since we still don't know what the actual test is, so get ready and let's go. Luna cheered as she finished her cereal. Naruto chuckled at her antics and resumed eating. Scene change. Naruto was walking up to training ground 7, where he could see Sakura trying to spark Sasuke's interest while Sasuke conversed with Naruto. Maybe conversed wasn't the right word, as Naruto was blatantly ignoring him and reading a scroll. Kushina could be seen sitting on a branch reading a scroll as well, and Kakashi was leaning against a tree off to the side. Naruto baka. You're late. Sakura screeched as he walked into the clearing. I'm right on time, Banshee, now shut up and leave me alone. Naruto casually said as he waited for their senseis to do something. Morning, Nai-san. Naruto smiled up at Naruto, who just rolled his eyes. Sasuke just glanced at him before muttering dope. Naruto heard this and quickly kicked him in the balls, yelling, Look, Sasuke, leave my Nai-san alone or you will have an early grave, understand? I can take care of myself, Naruto. Naruto said as he laid down in the grass. Luna taking a spot next to him. Settle down, everyone, we can now begin the test since everyone is here. Your objective is to get these 3 bells from me, and if you do, you are genin. If you fail to get a bell, you go back to the academy. Kakashi said as he made his way into the center of the clearing. Kakashi-sensei, what about Kushina-sensei? Sakura asked. I will be observing you all and evaluating your performance. Kushina stated as she gazed at each of them. Her eyes lingering on Naruto. Okay, now any more questions before we start the test? Kakashi looked around, none. Okay then, you have till sundown, begin. With that, everyone jumped into the trees except for Naruto and Luna. Luna meandered over to a tree and sat down watching Naruto while he faced off with Kakashi. So all I have to do is get a bell and I pass, right? Naruto asked as he eyed up Kakashi. Yep, that's all you have to do. Kakashi said as he pulled out his book, ignoring the killing intent radiating from the trees. Okay then. Naruto started walking up to Kakashi. He reached out his hand for a bell when Kakashi grabbed his wrist, stating, It won't be that easy, Naruto. And you, sensei, underestimated my skills. And with that, Naruto exploded. Luna smiled as Kushina was extremely surprised. When the smoke cleared, all that was left was a charred log and Kakashi on the other end of the clearing glancing around. What happened? Where is Naruto? Kushina frantically looked around hoping to spot him. That, my dear, was a variation of his shadow clone Justu that we like to call exploding shadow clones. He gets up close and if necessary they explode. Kind of like the poof from a regular clone, but with a much bigger bang. As to where he is, well, watch and see. Luna stated proudly, still gazing across the field. But his report said he only knew the basic academy Justu and the shadow clone Justu. When did he learn that? Kushina wondered as she finally pinpointed her son's chakra. This morning, to be precise, but that would be the first time he ever used the technique. Luna stated as she stretched out to get more comfortable. He did that on his first try. Kushina seemed shocked, but she was thrilled to know her baby was that skilled. Well, technically third since he tried to make a few on the way over here, but that one was the last. Luna chuckled. Back with Kakashi. I guess the reports on him were off. I thought he would just rush in without a plan, but that was pretty good. If I was any slower I wouldn't be here right now, Kakashi thought as he tracked his students down, finally figuring out where Naruto was. Well, I guess it's time to bump this up a notch, Kakashi said as he put his book away and moved to face his nearest student. A couple hours later Team 7 sat defeated by 3 posts. Sakura tied to the middle one while the other sat around it about to eat lunch. Now remember everyone, do not feed Sakura or there will be severe consequences. Kakashi threatened. With that he left and met up with Kushina who was now petting Luna. So how did they do? Kushina asked as she scratched behind Luna's ears. Well, Sasuke is a prodigy in terms of skill, but has no basis of teamwork, he would mid to high genin. Sakura has potential, but no skill in terms of jutsu and barely passable to Jutsu, definitely not a genin. Naruko is by far the best with her arsenal of seals, Rasengan and her speed. She showed very proficient use of Taijutsu and Ninjutsu. I would class her as a low chun in high genin. Naruto was the most surprising as he showed great tactics under pre-Azure and Jutsu I didn't know he learned. He has a way to go, but I would class him as a low to mid genin. Although they do still fail Kushina-sama. They didn't get the bells, and only Naruto and Naruko got the point of the test. Kakashi rattled off as they both gazed at the genin. Expect more surprises from our local blonde, as he will be learning a lot of new things in the coming future. I expected him to be much worse. I will definitely work on his attention span though. He can get distracted too often and falls for simple traps. I'm just glad he didn't fall for any of them twice. Luna said as she moved away from Kushina. I'm glad my Sachi wasn't as bad as the reports made him out to be, but still, if it wasn't for Luna he would have been terrible. I'm the worst mother in the world, aren't I? Kushina mumbled as she looked down. Yeah, he was terrible, but now you can work with him as he gets stronger. I would make him stay after for more one-on-one lessons so that he can at least form a student-teacher bond. Luna suggested as she made her way down from the tree and towards Naruto. Well, I guess I will have to go and fail them since they didn't get the point of the test. Kakashi sighed and was about to go if fought for Kushina. Wait. Let's watch them for a little longer and see what they do, okay? Kushina demanded as she gazed at her son. Okay, but since I'm stuck here how about you answer a question that has been bothering me for some time, Kakashi asked. Sure. Kushina glanced at him curious as to what he would ask. Why did you leave Naruto? Kakashi focused all his attention on her as she looked at him surprised. It's not like I really wanted to leave, it's just that Minato said that the Kyuubi could only be extracted if the children were together. So he used that as a basis for getting me to leave one of them in the hands of Jiraiya. Minato chose to take Naruko because he said she had the chakra and that she would need to learn to control it. Kushina explained. But why didn't one of you stay with Naruto? I wanted to stay, but Minato said that he would need my chains in case Naruko went out of control. When I suggested that he stay, he said he was too well known and Naruto would be targeted by his enemies. I tried to argue some more, but Jiraiya insisted that he would take care of him and soon after I just passed out from all the stress of childbirth and dealing with the extraction of Kyuubi. When I woke up we were already halfway to the Land of Fire's capital and Minato said Naruto was in good hands and that I needed more rest. Next time I woke up I yelled at him for hours about abandoning our son. After I ran out of breath he showed me a report that was filled about the masked man wandering around the outskirts of Konoha, presumably looking for something. Minato said he was looking for us and that to go back to Naruto now would be a death sentence for him and Naruko. That's how it went throughout the years. Every time I asked he would show me reports made by Anbu under his command. Now that I think about it, some of them were signed by you. How come you didn't know about this? Kushina looked at him obviously confused. Kushina-sama, I never signed any reports on a masked man and I never even knew you two were alive. Heck, I didn't even know a masked man attacked you two during childbirth. Kakashi stated, also wondering how she got reports from him that he never even made. I think it's time I have a chat with Minato about what we did to our son. If he doesn't give a satisfactory answer he would relive the days of the hot habanero firsthand. Kushina angrily answered. But the genin during this conversation. You did very well, Nai-san. Thanks for teaming up with me towards the end. Naruko thanked Naruto. You weren't so bad yourself, Naruko. Would you mind well could you teach me those seals? Naruto asked. During the test he had found Naruko and teamed up with her. Seeing her skill and how she always watched his back when he made mistakes made him think about his relationship with her. He also thought about what Luna had said to him about Naruko. He figured it wouldn't hurt to give her a chance. That didn't mean he forgave her, but he was willing to try and form some kind of bond with her. Sure, Nai-san. Would you mind if we did them at your place? That way I can bring Narumi over to play with Luna and we can work on sealing. Naruko was excited as she didn't think the chance to get closer to her Nai-san would come so soon. Sure, we can use my apartment, Naruto said, satisfied that he would learn a new skill. At this point Luna had made it over and chose to sit in Naruto's lap. You guys do know if you don't feed Sakura you all fail, right? The test was about teamwork and if you let her suffer through hunger while you eat then you're basically abandoning a teammate. Luna stated as everyone seemed surprised with her insight. What, you think I sat there just to get attention? No, I used it to get information like any ninja would do. Luna stated, and with that they all started to feed Sakura who had lost her lunch due to trying to eat early. Poof. You all pass. Kakashi yelled as he poofed in front of all of them. Kushina joined him and looked around happily as she saw her son and daughter getting along. Well, now that you all paced, welcome to Team 7 everyone. Since you had such a stressful day you can take the rest of the day off, but Naruto, I would like to talk to you alone for a moment. As everyone left, Naruto was left sitting with Luna in his lap. What would you like to discuss, Kushina-sensei? He asked with barely concealed agitation. Well, first I would like to say how proud I am of you for your tremendous skill, and again I apologize for not being there when you were a child. I would like to meet after regular training sessions for some one-on-one tutoring. You were very good today but could do better. I will train you and teach you everything I know. Please let me. Kushina asked as she gazed at her son. I will think about it. Now can I go, sensei? Naruto stressed the word sensei and glared at Kushina. When she nodded her head he stood up, put Luna on his shoulder and started walking to his apartment. I think I will return to my den tonight, Naruto. Please summon me again before your first training session please, or if Narumi comes to visit. You did very well by the way. I'm so proud of you. You will definitely become a powerful ninja now, so long Naru-kun. With that she licked his cheek and left for Shinkyo. Man, it has been a long day. I guess it's time to celebrate at Ichiroku's and eat some ramen. Naruto sighed as he started walking faster. What if Naruto finds his parents' scrolls? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content then do consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like if you guys need the next part, comment down, and thanks for watching the video and see you guys in the next video.